Shalom, family. It's good to see all of you. And we're going to go over the upcoming eviction moratorium, which is the final day this coming Saturday. I had myself on mute. That's why you didn't hear any sound. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about that and talk about how this government really didn't do a good job in spreading the word about people that were behind on rent could get help. And personally, I think it's unfair that it's ending on the 31st and you did a very insufficient job in even helping the people. And, from what I was reading online, it's way too much red tape involved and even doing the paperwork for it. And it should never have been that way because there is a pandemic going on. It should have been very easy to do a simple application. But you know how it is. These folks aren't happy unless they're complicating everything. That's how they are. And it's a shame because we're talking about families, children, people from young and old that are going to be impacted by the end of this moratorium. And so far, I haven't heard anything out of the Biden administration that's going to do anything to help these people. And we know the Delta variant is exploding in the country, and people are about to lose the roof over their head. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Shalom. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Please give me a 1. All right. Okay. So this came out in the Wall Street Journal, July 23rd, 2021. End of eviction moratorium puts many tenants at risk of losing their homes. So, ladies and gentlemen, as of the 31st, your landlord can start filing the necessary papers to evict you if you are behind on rent. State and local governments are struggling to distribute $47 billion in federal money aimed at helping tenants who can't pay rent because of the pandemic, leaving many people at risk of being thrown out of their homes when an eviction moratorium expires on July 31st. Meanwhile, many landlords have been squeezed because they have been unable to collect rent, but remain on the hook for taxes, maintenance, and other bills. And some of them have to pay mortgage. Problems distributing the funds, which I think this is the part that's unfair. They should have never, ever complicated this entire process because of the nature of why people lost their jobs. It's not like it's their fault. It never was their fault. Problems distributing funds, which can be used to cover back rent, future rent, and utilities, often stem from bureaucratic bottlenecks. Some states are having trouble keeping up with requests for aid, while numerous renters are being disqualified for failing to complete their applications correctly. Wow. Then somebody should help them with the application instead of disqualifying them. Where are the people that you're supposed to have hired to assist them with the application? This is unbelievable. Don't sound like they want to really help people to me. Okay, and landlords tenants and local officials. A key sticking point: verifying an applicant's income with either last year's tax returns or 2 months worth of paycheck documentation. The capacity to process application does not match the volume of need, said Jim McDonald, Chief Community Investment Officer at the United Way of Greater Kansas City, which is helping to distribute 30 million in the area. While some states, including California and New York, have their own eviction moratoriums that will remain in effect past July, about 40 states don't, according to the website nolo.com. Yes, here in New Jersey, if you are renting here, you have until December 31st. The governor signed an extension on the eviction moratorium in New Jersey, so you have until December 31st. If you are a homeowner that's behind on your mortgage and you're facing foreclosure, I believe that was extended until November 15th. So if you're in this state, you have nothing to worry about just yet. But that should give you ample time to get assistance if you really, truly need it. Okay. Now, if you're in New York and California, they also have their own moratoriums. You might want to find out what it is in your state, because it doesn't tell you in the article. We will see a historic wave of evictions and housing instability this summer and fall without further measures to protect tenants, said Diane Yentl, President and Chief Executive of the National Low Income Housing Coalition. Just $3 billion of the aid authorized by Congress in December and March have been delivered to landlords. Well, that's unacceptable. It's $47 billion in this fund, and they only gave out $3 billion. Wow. That's really messed up, because that money really can help people. Okay. The Treasury Department said in a report on Wednesday, about 8.2 million adults were behind on their rent or mortgage as of July 5th and have low confidence they can pay the next month, Census Bureau survey showed. Okay, so many landlords and most tenants were unaware aid was available, according to an Urban Institute study from June. Yeah, because they didn't do a good job in getting the word out. They should have advertised this everywhere, all over the country, being that it was so many people behind on their rent and mortgage. And they really didn't do that. They really should have done a big campaign on this so that people could have applied for aid, but they really didn't do that. So if you are not the kind of person that do a lot of reading, or you don't watch the news, because it really is not in mainstream news either. They don't really talk about this. They'll talk about everything else, but they don't talk about this. And this is a really important issue. Okay. Though money began flowing in January, more states and local governments had to start their programs from scratch, with many not getting off the ground until May or early June, according to the Treasury. Wow. So they had the money in January, but they weren't able to get started until May. See, I don't think this should end. I don't think this should end. The Biden administration officials say they are taking steps to speed up the distribution of aid. Measures including hosting 2 eviction prevention summits, as well as encouraging local jurisdictions to adopt programs that offer tenants legal assistance and aim to avoid evictions. While the pace of states and cities launching effective programs have been way too slow, with more now up And we expect to see monthly relief dollars doubling or tripling, said Gene Sperling, senior advisor to President Biden, who is coordinating implementation of the plan. Separately, the administration on Friday announced plans to expand assistance programs for homeowners who fell behind on their mortgage payments during the pandemic and continue to face economic hardships, a bid to prevent a sharp rise in foreclosure over the coming months. So, wow. I mean, they are admitting in this article that they know they did an insufficient job, but the moratorium is ending anyway. Wow. For tenants like Felicia Dumas, who works for a healthcare company in Fort Smith, Arkansas, the wait for federal rental assistance has been a long one. She missed 2 months of rent this spring after missing several weeks of work to care for her son and daughter who were ill. They both had the virus at the same time. Faced with eviction, she applied for assistance as soon as the state program opened in May, but wasn't approved until July 9th. Amy Webb, a spokeswoman for Arkansas Department of Human Services, which oversees the state rental assistance program, declined to discuss Ms. Dumas' situation. In general, it takes 10 to 12 business days to review and approve requests once the state receives completed documentation from both tenants and landlords, she said. We understand the sense of urgency to get money out the door, and we are working every week to refine and improve the process so that we can make payments more quickly. Wow. I mean, this is terrible the way I see it, y'all. Stop sharing. This is terrible the way I see it. Because, look, what you're saying is we know we did an insufficient job. We didn't do well in getting this money out. We didn't do well in letting people know, but you're going to be kicked out and your landlord can move to push you out the door on the 31st. Does that even sound right? I mean, seriously, does that even sound right to anybody? Thank you, Dee, for the super chat. These people don't know how to accomplish anything. They really don't. They it was just like I said yesterday. They really, truly are not meant to lead, because since they've been in leadership, it's been a disaster. I mean, all kinds of money issues. And look, I knew when this place went into lockdown, y'all, I knew they weren't going to come back. I knew they weren't, and they're not. America looks worse than ever. Thank you, Justin March, for the super sticker. I knew they weren't coming back from this. If you work the way that they do, how the hell do you bring anything back? Thank you, Dee, for the super chat. This is a setup in order to allow bankers to buy up foreclosures and also gentrification. I wouldn't doubt it. Right. How the hell do you throw out applications because they weren't filled out right? Why don't you just send it back and let the person have an opportunity to fix whatever's wrong? I mean, just throw out the whole application? I think that's wrong. And did the application come with instructions? What kind of instructions came with it that people could have followed? Because I'm just thinking there's probably a person waiting for assistance. They threw out the application and they don't even know that you threw it out. I mean, they can't get the application back and somebody over the phone can assist them and how to fill it out. How hard is that? How hard is it? Or if you don't want to go through all of that, mail an example of what a filled application should look like and mail it back to them. There's all kinds of ways you can assist people in filling out an application. Boy, these people, they always do an insufficient job, but they don't want you to say anything about it. You know, they want us to pat them on the back and tell them how wonderful they are. You're not wonderful. You haven't done a good job, and this place is in bad shape. And they don't have the ability to pull this country out of this mess. They don't. They think they do, but they really don't have the ability because they don't know what to do. And it's very obvious when you even look at mainstream news. They don't know what the hell to do. And now you got some governor from Alabama screaming at people over something that, as far as I'm concerned, is her fault. Now, I'll go back to what I said. The governors in America made the decision to throw out the mask mandate. They made the decision to open everything back up. But now you want to yell at people that had nothing to do with that? Y'all made this decision. This monster is your mess. The only accountability that should be on it are all of these governors that were rushing to reopen. This is your fault. This is your fault. It ain't no unvaccinated people. It's all of the people that wanted everything open so badly when they were advised not to do this. And if they were going to do it gradually, right? They didn't care. But now everything's taken a decline in the country. Oh, they're trying to blame the people. No, the people didn't make that decision. Y'all made that decision. Own it. Own it. I don't care what she's screaming about. I really don't. As far as I'm concerned, she's at fault. But she's trying to pass the buck on to someone else. That's a typical thing they've always done. They've always been like this. Yeah, well, Biden may say America is back, black intelligence. America can never come back. It can never come back. Economically, it ain't coming back, especially with the amount of people out here that are not working, and the ones that are working are resigning or walking off the job. You can't come back economically with a very weak labor force. You can't come back. And see, they're screaming because they are in fear of a second lockdown. If you can't bounce back from one lockdown, you're definitely not coming back from two. Let's be real. They're not coming back from two. You couldn't even come back from lockdown number one. Okay. There's zero coming back for the second one. And they're going to fight like hell. But this thing is going to get the best of them. It really is. Yeah, we still have one in New Jersey too, but New Jersey has its own separate eviction moratorium from the rest of the country. So, there's a few states that do. Now, I know what it is for New Jersey because I'm here, but I don't know what it is for California and New York, who also have their own separate eviction moratorium. So if you live in those states, you may have to do some research and find out what it is in your state. Oh, it's off the charts. It's off the charts, y'all. And it's getting worse by the day. But see, these folks, it goes back, they don't know how to do nothing. If it's not a quick Band-Aid fix, they don't know what to do. All they had to do was look at the pattern of what this thing was like over in India. When they first started getting it, people got sick, but not that many passed on, right? But as the weeks rolled by, the deaths started mounting and just got huge. That's what happened over there. All you got to do is look at the pattern. And if you want to know, well, COVID took a dip. Well, it took a dip in 2020, if y'all remember. When we start nearing summer, it dropped. But when everybody start running out there to the beach and everything, it starts skyrocketing again. It's doing the exact same thing this year. It's not hard to research this stuff. It started out the same way. People caught it. There in the beginning was not a lot of deaths. And then weeks later, people were dropping like flies over there. What, America thought it was going to be different here? It ain't going to be different here. It's not going to be different here. Thank you, James Richardson, for the super sticker. And see, America going to keep playing this game. It's the unvaccinated. It's the unvaccinated. No, it isn't. It's you politicians and decision makers. You throw the burden back on them. That's what you do. See, these folks really seriously hate accountability. They don't want to be accountable for nothing. Anything that goes wrong, they did this on Jobs when I was on Jobs, y'all. I mean, anything that went wrong within the company, it was never their fault. It was never them. But they're sitting there. You're the boss. You're calling all the shots. You're the one making all the decisions. But when everything goes wrong, it ain't your fault. So they're still playing this game out here. Every time they say unvaccinated, you say governor. That's what you say. Say governor. Yeah, they've always been like that on Jobs, but haven't for years. They've been telling you, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Isn't that another way of saying be accountable? Well, we should be accountable while they sit on the sideline and cry like babies every time something go wrong and claim nothing's their fault. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. No, this is the bottom line, y'all. When things are going wrong, you don't need people that are looking for quick fixes and band-aid solutions in charge. When you got a more complex problem, you need the people that will roll up their sleeves, think outside of the box, and not afraid to try different things. Those are the kind of people you need leading. But these people always looking for a quick band-aid fix, going up to the Capitol with guns, demanding. Those are not the kind of people you need in charge when something this serious is going on. They are never going to do a thing right. Just understand that. But the people that are willing to just start researching and let's try this, let's do this. All right, this is really complex. So let's see if we can come up with stages of ways we can do things. Those are the kind of people you need in charge. But these, hurry up, get a Band-Aid, put it on it. I don't care. People are going to die. Let them drop dead. Put the Band-Aid on. You don't need those kind of people in charge. They're not going to fix a thing. That's what I found in my career. Those kind of people that are always want everything quick, fast, and in a hurry and hurry up, those are not good leaders. I always found those kind of people were always the worst to work for, and they were terrible at resolving things. And if you've been working out here, you know exactly what I mean. Or they're in your face talking about make it work. What do you mean? What the fuck you mean make it work? Get the hell out of here with that dumb yammering. I'm serious. Get out of here with that dumb shit. So that's what we're dealing with. And that's why nothing's going to get resolved. Because I know the mindset of these people. I don't work with them for so many years. I know their mindset. Their mindset is not a problem solver. Their mindset is get a Band-Aid and put it on there and keep right on moving. That's their mindset. You know, and it don't take a rocket scientist to see we're now well over a year, and America is still struggling with the same exact thing. What does that tell you? What does it tell you? And one little, about a year ago, one smart alecky troll was like, well, what can you resolve it? Trust me. If black people were in charge of this thing, it would have been resolved by now. Okay, it would have been resolved by now. Yeah, we are. It's just like, look, when they smeared all that crap all over the Capitol, right? Who did they bring in as the cleanup crew? They brought in black men. Okay, they brought in black men. Black men. Okay, you want it sanitized, right? They gonna sanitize it, right? That's what they gonna do. After they get finished, it'll be like nothing happened up there. Because that's how good and thorough they are. Yeah, I remember that. China tried to disinfect the country. I remember that, and remember they killed almost a lot of their animals when they they killed a lot of their animals too when they tried to disinfect. I remember that. Yeah, it's why yours truly. It's too many inconsistencies every single day. When I was out working, I was working with people like Dr. Fauci. One day it's this, the next day it's that. When we get to next week, it's this, and then the next day it's that. You know what I mean? It's too much inconsistency. Too much. Too much. And people complain, but you know what? That was the norm around me. That's how it was. One day it's this, the next day it's that. One day it's this. I mean, no consistency at all. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. We'll definitely do this again real soon. And I know most of the country is in a heat wave once again. Ours started today. Today we are at 92, and I believe we're at 94 tomorrow. In fact, we're going to be in this heat wave probably most of the week. So wherever you are, I hope you got some AC going, or or you're in comfort. And if you don't, y'all get them ice packs out. Start using them ice packs, because it really will give you relief, especially if you don't have a good air conditioner. Take care, y'all. Peace, family.